In 2013, a disturbing video was uploaded to Reddit. In it, a man began riding up an escalator while holding a board vertically. Shortly after he begins his ride, the board catches on the ceiling and presses down into the step the man is riding on, piercing the surface. He frantically grabs at it, trying to pull it free, but it's already too late. The step he's riding on opens up, and within the next moment, both the board and himself are swallowed up by the escalator. Could an escalator actually hurt you? And if so, how bad could it be? When stepping onto an escalator, many thoughts force their way into your mind. What if you can't get off in time? What would happen if your shoelace gets caught in the teeth? And what if the step beneath your feet simply opens up, swallowing you whole? Are there horrors hidden within that you should be worried about? We've done some extensive research on the topic, and the simple answer is yes. But to be honest, what was surprising was not that escalators have killed people, it was the sheer number of different ways it has happened. It really makes you think, why were these things ever even invented? Some of the tragic escalator-related events uncovered in this video happen to occur in one of those countries where freedom of speech isn't really at the top of the current government's list of priorities. And without a VPN, researching videos like this one would be impossible. Whether it's region-locked content, government censorship, or companies tracking data, today's sponsor, NordVPN, makes the internet a more open space without the malware. NordVPN lets you be able to access information easily without slowing you down, not to mention giving you access to shows and movies that you would otherwise be unable to watch. You get to browse with the fastest VPN with unlimited bandwidth, no matter where you are in the world. Speaking of breaking barriers, NordVPN has just introduced MeshNet. MeshNet lets you easily create your own secure private network where you can connect multiple trusted devices no matter where they are in the world, letting them use an encrypted connection to communicate with each other directly, taking networking to a whole new level. The secure connection with MeshNet is a game changer for gaming, remote work, and file transfers. Accessing files on a remote device or working on joint projects is made as seamless as stepping onto an escalator. You're connected and moving forward without a second thought. MeshNet even comes free with your NordVPN account. Many thanks to NordVPN, because without them, making this video wouldn't have been possible. And if you'd like to help us keep unlocking new fears while also getting 4 months free on a 2-year plan with NordVPN, support us by using our link in the description, nordvpn.com/brew. And now let's get into it. The horrifying video was originally from an incident that happened in 2011 in Taipei, Taiwan. The man in the CCTV footage was a Metro Deputy Station Director named Kuo Changqie. He was attempting to carry the anti-flood backing boards for the station. Safety guidelines stated that 2 people should carry the board, but he decided to do it alone, only for it to pierce through the escalator step and turn the machinery inside into a meat grinder. He did not survive. 2015, Jing Joo China. 31-year-old Sheng Luojuan was at the AZG Mall shopping with her family. Her toddler son insisted on taking the escalator, so up they went. As the duo were approaching the upper floor, with the stair panels slowly flattening at the edge, she lifted the child up, getting ready to step off onto the landing when disaster struck. The panel at the next floor connected to the escalator suddenly collapsed, tipping over as the young mother stepped on it. As she fell into the escalator shaft, with only her torso above the metal steps, Sheng was able to fling her son to safety to the arms of the mall staff waiting on the next floor. The escalator access panel on the upper floor landing hadn't been bolted back to the ground after maintenance work was done earlier, allowing them to easily come loose and tilt. In an investigation after the incident, it was found that mall staff had actually noticed the issue 5 minutes prior to Sheng's accident, but were not trained on what actions to take to fix the issue, nor took action to push the stop button or cordon the area off to prevent customers from using the escalator. When they saw the young mother approaching, all they could do was to warn her that it was dangerous before it was too late. After retrieving the little boy, 2 of the mall staff tried pulling Sheng upwards, but she was stuck. They weren't able to save her before she disappeared into the machinery below. It took firefighters 4 hours to cut the escalator open and locate Sheng's lifeless body. So, were these couple of incidents just freak accidents? Well, no. According to the CDC, escalator mishaps might be more common than we may realize. 17,000 people are injured by escalators, and 30 people lose their lives to one every year. And with all that information, it might not be a surprise that some people are terrified of riding escalators. One Reddit user who claimed to work on elevator and escalator maintenance for 18 years summed it up, saying, "Escalators are a 60-foot-long chainsaw that you can fit inside of. Lots of places to lose a finger or everything else." Another user, referencing the Taipei metro station video, said, "I have been secretly scared of escalators ever since I saw a video of one swallowing a human whole. In fact, fear of escalators is so common that it has its own name, escalophobia. A childhood anxiety of being pulled into the escalator may escalate into a fear, evolving into escalophobia. Sometimes this fear might relate back to a triggering incident, such as a person falling down the steps in their childhood, or having a shoelace or shoe get stuck into the teeth of an escalator." 2014, Montreal, Canada. 47-year-old Naima Raruti was riding an escalator at the Fabra metro station when her hair, coat, and scarf were caught in the machine's teeth. The tangle caused an accidental asphyxiation and lacerations to her scalp before the machine could be stopped, injuries that led to her tragic death. According to Sterling Elevator Consultants LLC, you should stand in the middle of the step, being careful to keep loose clothing away from the steps and sides. However, escalator etiquette usually states that we should stand to one side to allow space for people to walk on the other, so extra caution needs to be taken, especially in high traffic areas. It's believed that escalophobia affects about 1.36% of the population, but the actual number of cases may be higher. And even within that figure, there are different fears that can manifest. Some people may be anxious about getting on or off the escalator on time, which is similar to interacting with other moving machinery like rotating doors, where wrong timing means getting smacked into the glass door, or getting crushed while it turns. And some people may only fear riding an escalator going in a certain direction, like not really being afraid of escalators going up, but down. 2011, China. A 13-year-old boy was traveling to the Beijing Zoo with his father and sister. They had taken the subway and were taking a busy escalator up when a strange grinding noise rang out. Suddenly, the escalator going upwards changed directions and became a down escalator. Before they knew what had happened, the riders who had lost all sense of balance tumbled to the bottom in less than 2 seconds, taking the life of the teen and leaving 28 other riders hospitalized, including the boy's father and sister. In 2018, 78-year-old James Murphy had gone to the Merchants Quay shopping center with his wife in Cork City, Ireland. They were riding the steep escalator up before the elderly man stumbled, unable to shift his balance with his walking stick, and was catapulted down to the bottom as his wife looked on with horror, unable to help. Firefighters and paramedics responded and attempted to save him, but were sadly unable to. The same year, another incident happened in Rome. Fans of a visiting Russian soccer team were riding an escalator leading down into a metro station, singing and jumping when the escalator suddenly sped up, sending the fans hurtling towards the bottom. The steps there seemingly crumpled together, reportedly trapping some between them, and injuring 24 in the incident, including one man who lost part of his foot. Being so prone to accidents, it's probably not surprising to see that the design and mechanics of the escalator hasn't really changed that much since their invention by Jesse Reno in 1891, over 130 years ago. However, early escalators were constructed primarily of wood instead of metal, some of which are still in use to this day, like in Macy's, New York. Which brings us to why they're not more common now. November 18th, 1987, 7:25 p.m. At the busy King's Cross London Underground station, tragedy struck, literally, when a rider on one of the escalators dropped a lit match that fell between the escalator's panels. Unbeknownst to anyone at the time, grease and various debris had been collected inside the escalator, and the match soon ignited the cluster. And to make matters worse, at the time, the escalator in question used wooden panels. What began as a small fire soon spread out of control, with a fireball exploding out of the escalators and into the ticket hall. Over 150 firefighters and 30 fire trucks responded to the flame, with frontline firefighters needing their colleagues to spray them down with cold water in order to proceed into the burning station. Inside, the flames burned hot enough to cook tile from the walls and crack concrete. It took 2 hours for the flame to be brought under control and another 4 to be extinguished. 31 lives were taken in the blaze, and the incident led to a number of reforms being passed, including the replacement of wooden escalators throughout the London Underground. Though, that would take time. The last wooden escalator wasn't replaced with a metal one until 2014. Taking a step forward, thankfully modern-day escalators are much safer when used and maintained correctly. However, someone would still need to step up and hit that emergency button in case things really go off the rail. But if escalators still give you the jitters, the stairs always promise an elevated workout without all the moving parts. And remember, click our link below or go to nordvpn.com/brew to get the 2-year plan with an additional bonus 4 months free.